Hello, today I'm going to talk about yoga. I want to share my experience and I also want to give few advices if you want to start or improve on your asana practice. So let's go. So I started to be interested about yoga years ago when I was diagnosed by autoimmune disease that was affecting all of my joints and produced me a lot of pain. But I'm talking about that in the other episode, so let's go straight to the point. When I was forced to do something and I did my research, I found out that yoga is one of the best tools in this kind of issues. There was not so much information like these days. I'm talking about 20 years ago. So I bought the book, I started to read, and of course I made my first mistake, biggest one, to jump directly to those physical postures called asanas, because all that theory and what is this yoga about was so boring for me at that time. Of course, it's a huge mistake because yoga is not the gymnastics and it's not about the do those postures. It's much more than that. But at that time I didn't understand it, and I did my daily routine and I was practicing and I was so sure that I'm doing the yoga well. Of course, I heard myself many times doing yoga, but at least I was more and more interested, and at the end I decided to go to India to study about, to learn more about. But even there my approach was so wrong. I remember when I took my first class in the south of India, it was so easy, so effortless. There was no one challenging posture in all the class, and I was like, this is it. Now I need to find another teacher. This was just so. This is not good yoga. And I met a lot of people that was practicing the yoga. They start to talk to me. They start to turn that point of view that I had about the yoga, and they told me, maybe you need to go to north of India, that is more spiritual part of India. So I went to Rishikesh, that is called like yoga world capital, and I started to learn more there. I did my first yoga teacher training there, and that was the point when I start to realize what is yoga about. I start to read all those boring stuff that I was skipping in the beginning. And of course, I completely changed my asana routine and practice. I met a lot of teachers there, I met a lot of yogis there and masters, and I was realizing bit by bit what is yoga about. So I did another yoga teacher training, start to learn more and more, and I never quit. Since then I'm continue learning. I'm doing yoga every day, and but I just want to tell you that physical part of yoga called asanas is a very, very small step in our yoga journey. Actually, there are 8 steps: yamas, niyamas, that physical part, asanas, pranayamas, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and ending with the samadhi, which is the state that only few people can reach in this life. It starts from learning about the correct way of thinking or correct behavior. Then comes that asanas practice, which is preparing all your body for the next steps, for the pranayama or breathing techniques, pratyaharas, which is drawing senses inward and still your mind. Then comes that concentration, dharana, dhyana, meditation, and after that comes that samadhi. I mention that only that you can see that physical part called asanas. It's just very small steps. It's not the aim. This is not the yoga. It's very small part of yoga. So I realized that after all my journey, and I completely changed my routine and my approach. And I thought I could be teacher when I was doing all those yoga teacher trainings, but after that I realized that I saw so much knowledge behind the yoga. I met masters, and I realized what is the real yoga teacher about. It's not just kind of gymnast showing crazy postures. It's about much more than that, and you need to practice a lot so you can really feel what you're talking about, and when you're showing and when you're teaching. Actually, most of the greatest yoga teachers that I met, they was saying that they are not teacher. They not teaching. They just sharing the knowledge they received. I refused the idea to be yoga teacher because of that. I'm doing my yoga practice every day, and I still see that I cannot teach him something that I don't understand totally, and I'm still learning. But we can talk about the yoga and what is this about for hours or days. But here at least I can give you few advices so you can improve on asanas or physical practice. Number 1, always do good warm-up. That was one of my first mistakes that when I was check all those pictures in the book, and I was seeing those and this and that, and I was like, man, this is so boring. This is for old people. Actually, this is the most important part. You really need to do good warm-up. I'm doing every day about the hour practice. Almost half of that is that warm-up. Moving and rotating all of my joints, all of them. Neck, ankles, elbows, fingers, toes, knees, all the spine, everything. After that I'm going for the asanas. But this is very important. So number 1, do very good warm-up. Number 2, never push your limits. Remember that when you doing yoga by yourself, from the book or see in the video, or you are on the yoga classes, never check the others. Don't compare yourself with the others. Everybody is different. Everybody has a different flexibility, different strength, different construction. So those limits are different for everybody. If you see someone aside you and they're doing something much more deep than you, it's kind of logic that you want to follow, and you can harm yourself. You find your point and stay even a little bit below that. When you can see yourself breathing fast and shallow, you're probably forcing too much. Number 3, check all your body in any posture. I'll give you an example. In this posture, most of the people, even teachers, are focusing on legs, having stretched legs and straight legs. Well, the posture is about that, but don't forget your spine. First, put your spine straight and then stretch the legs. The spine is more important. Many people doing that mistake, that they're stretching the legs so hard and doing round back. This is not correct. So always check all your body in any posture, because maybe you are forcing too much for something and harming the other part. Number 4, do your practice on an empty stomach. The best way to do that is in the morning after you wake up. Most of the asanas, especially spinal twist or similar, is about massaging your internal organs or stimulate glands. The best way to do that is having nothing in your stomach, so you can avoid nausea or bad feeling about it. Number 5, don't do those crazy postures as an aim. Once again, those really advanced postures are natural evolution of easy postures. When you're doing forward bending, for example, and you trying to reach your feet with your hands. You go in there and one day just you didn't feel the stretch anymore. You're just laying there because your back is so flexible and your thighs are so flexible that you reach the point where it's not stretching anymore. You start to have a feeling that you need to put that leg behind your neck, for example. Only if there is no stretch anymore, you're looking for a evolution of any posture, of some advanced posture. And advice number 6, and the last and more important one, is yoga is not a competition. It's your own process, it's your own evolution, it's your own lifetime journey. It's not about the showing to the other people. It's not about have that picture on the Instagram doing some posture. It's about your own progress. If you're focusing on yourself, on your feeling, you're going step by step, not chasing anything. You can do yoga for all your life. And this way you can live that life much more happy and much more healthy. This is my experience, and thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next episode.